Let's just do this.
All right, we're going to do a quick 30.
Got to be a quick 30.
Yep.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Reps That Count podcast. My name is Valentz J. Nicholas, a.k.a. Snappy Patchy. And, of course, I'm here with my co-host, my friend, my homie, Adam.
Yes,
Just Adam. What's going on, Adam? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
How have you been, man?
It has been a good week.
Okay.
I think I got a lot done this week, which was cool. And I'm happy we're doing the pod.
You ready to party?
Yep.
You ready to potty?
I'm ready to potty.
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 All right. Well, tradition. We got to stick with tradition
Absolutely.
here. So, Adam, what have you done in the past week that you are proud of?
I just did this today, and I was so excited for this question. Okay, so Valentz and I text each other a lot more now than previously about things that we're visualizing and trying to manifest into existence.
Mm-hmm.
And Valentz last week sent me a picture of a Lamborghini Urus.
It was a
video.
Yeah.
And he said, wouldn't it be dope to pick up the kids in this car? And just so happens, one of my clients rolled up today in a Lamborghini Urus.
It was Monday.
Oh, it was just this Monday.
It was Monday.
Yeah, it was Monday. And so I immediately just started texting Valentz, I don't care what you're doing right now. You got to come to the gym.
He's like, yo, come to the gym. I got a surprise for you.
I said, I got a surprise for you. You know how good of a friend he is? He didn't ask what the surprise was. He said, okay.
But I had no idea. I'm like, all right, cool. I know, like, we just took pictures for the podcast. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's like something, like maybe you got something printed, but I don't know how you could have done it so fast. Yeah. Like, you know what? All right, cool. Let's do this.
And then we got to, so he pulled up and we got to drive around in the Lamborghini Urus.
Yeah.
I really do believe that Valentz is going to have a Lamborghini, mark this episode, in 3 years, a Lamborghini Urus. So.
Yeah, bro. That was so awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, it was like, I was shocked, bro.
That's that's visualization. You sat in it, you felt
bro,
it.
It was so awesome.
It's a little more real now.
Oh God, bro. It was so awesome. It was fast. It was plush. Bro, there's like TVs in the back. Like, and I'm like, yo, my kid would love, like, I don't have to give him my phone. Yeah,
TVs.
Bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
No, dude. It made me happy that we were able to do that. Yeah.
Damn, that was unexpected and just
pretty cool.
So dope. And I got to speak with the owner for like, I don't know, we spoke for like a good 15, 20 minutes about just random stuff. And
I asked him if he would want to be in the podcast. He said, yeah. So
awesome.
I think he would be a really good person.
Yeah.
Discipline of this guy is fantastic. And he was actually in the music industry for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then he got into finance and everything, but he's a really interesting guy.
Yeah, we got to set that up.
Yeah.
We have to set that up. All right.
How about you?
Oh, God. I did a lot, but I got back into photography. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like we did our photo shoot, and that's like the official first photo shoot of like the Snappy studio. You know what I mean? Like I got the garage set up, and it was so awesome. And speaking of like visualization, like the space, I've seen the space before. You know what I mean? Like I've imagined like a garage with the roll up, and like everything is just like perfect. Like I've seen this already, and it was just so awesome. Like, a few days ago that we got to like actually take pictures and like.
It was cool watching you do your thing. Like, I think you're really good at lighting, and the way that you were able to control the lighting. Like you pointed it up one time and you're just doing crazy shit with the lights, and it was coming out dope.
Yeah, practice.
It was cool watching you do your thing.
I appreciate that, man. Again, thanks for just like this week, bro. You've been very, very helpful and just amazing, bro. Thank you so much.
I feel like we're about to hit a avalanche in a good way of just we're rolling.
Yeah, there's a breakthrough coming.
Yeah, breakthrough.
Yeah, there's definitely a breakthrough, and something big is about to happen, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, speaking of just breakthroughs, man. Like this episode, right? Like, so essentially, like what this episode is episode 1 of a 7 series. I feel like we might have to do like 8, like to like summarize everything. But this is a series based on both of our favorite developmental books or whatnot, right? Like personal development books. Absolutely. Like I'll go ahead and let you just introduce and tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah, so I tried to read this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, like 4 years ago, and then I wasn't able to get through the beginning of it. Tried again 2 years ago, wasn't able to get through it, and then Valentz, less than a year ago, he was reading it. And so I started. Yeah.
And it was the same thing for me. And we spoke about it on the podcast multiple times before, but like this is how important or like just how special this book is. Like we just keep bringing it up because like we both feel like this is the book.
Yes.
When it comes to personal development, like it based on like, I've read a lot of books so far, and like it's like a lot of books get stuff from this book. Like every chapter in this book can be another book.
Yeah. And it is. Yeah. Like it's that long.
Yeah. So essentially we're just going to kind of break down all of the habits. Like we're going to take them and just make an episode about each of the 7 habits and just kind of speak about them. And, for the people who can't get past that first section of the book, which is also important. We could have done an episode on that, which is like, just the paradigm shift. But we could probably just do that later.
Yeah. And we'll talk that they talk about it actually, and being proactive. Yeah. So the first habit is be proactive. And there's a lot tied into that. So we'll go over being proactive versus being reactive, how to apply being proactive to everything. So we can relate it back to fitness, we can relate it back to the mindset of being proactive, your relationships, fatherhood, and what that really means.
Yeah.
So being proactive is just taking responsibility for your life and for your actions.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't do that. And there's been times in my life that I didn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, like the opposite of being proactive is being reactive, right? And again, most people are reactive. Like you let the situation dictate how you're going to react.
Yep.
So that's being proactive. Whereas like that's being reactive. Whereas if you're proactive, like you decide how you're going to react to a situation. And like being reactive is tied to your feelings. Whereas being proactive is tied to it's tied to reality. It's tied to data. It's just tied to like concrete evidence, I guess. Yeah. So,
there was one word that really stuck out to me in this first habit and in this first chapter, and he goes over the meaning of responsibility.
Okay.
And he's just broke down the word itself, and it's your ability to respond to any situation. I was like, it sounds so simple, but it is amazing, right?
You don't think of responsibility like that, right?
Yeah, you think of burden.
Yeah.
You think of responsibility. But that's your ability to choose. That's your power. Yes. Responsibility is your power.
Yeah.
Which is wild, right?
Yeah.
So when I think of my responsibilities, I'm trying not to think of them as burdens anymore, but these are the blessings that I have to deal with, right? These are the things that I choose to do and not do and accomplish, and that's my responsibility.
Yeah. No, it's definitely it's in the word responsibility.
Yeah, your right? ability to respond.
Yeah, bro. And I mean, we both have notes here. If you want to go ahead and just start with, just because I think this is like just too important to just not have notes, right?
Yeah. So we'll go over, and this is how I closed the last episode. But being proactive is knowing what you can control and what you can't control, and only focusing on what you can control. So not getting lost in the minutia of it might rain today, you know? You can't control if it's going to rain or not, but you can't control if you brought your umbrella, right? So knowing the difference and not really focusing on the rain and just being prepared as best as you can for situations, that is being proactive. So there's some people that just wait for things to happen. Maybe I will get a raise. Maybe I will find the right job. Maybe I will find the right partner. And then there's other people that are taking courses on Coursera or Udemy, and they're spending time trying to become a better person. So maybe they'll become a better partner. And those are the proactive people, and those are the people that are setting themselves up for success.
100%. And let's just therapy, like we're both going to therapy, and like in relationships, right? Like there's things that happen that you may not be prepared for, right? There's certain conversations or certain altercations, for lack of better words, that like could happen, but if you're not prepared to handle everything or anything, like it could just kind of blow things out of the water, I guess. So like there's like certain tones that could be set in your relationship just based on a conversation, right? I actually saw a video not too long ago on, I think it was like TikTok or Instagram, where this lady is like you could control the tone of your relationship just based on how you respond to like a question, or if something's going wrong. And the example she gave was like, she's working, jobs and like taking care of the kids, and, she's tired. And I think her husband, brought it up like, hey, you look, like overwhelmed or whatever. And she had two ways she could respond to it, like, hey, you're not doing enough around the house. And that could like make your partner get defensive. Whereas like the way she responded was like, hey, I appreciate being able to do this, this, and this, but like it gets overwhelmed sometimes. And she's like, the next day, her husband like took all the kids, sat them down, and created a chore list for the kids to take care of certain things. So you know what I mean? So, and again, that's like, you have to be in a certain mindset, and you have to work into getting to that mindset. Yeah. So
reactive thinking and responding. Just saying the first thing that comes out of your mouth. I've done that in all of my relationships. It's terrible. And it's terrible, but it's like that first instinct, that fight instinct too, that just comes up. You got to shut that up. Just think. Just think. And try to be proactive. Try to navigate that conversation a little bit, man. I would like to relate this to health. What's reactive health? Waiting for the blood test to come back and your markers are all out of whack. Relying on all sorts of medicines, just waiting till it's your health is being threatened to take action. Which it might be too late, right? It's not too late, but you should have done that earlier. What's proactive health? Going to your CrossFit class or going to the gym, drinking your water, getting your sleep, having that self-care, which he talks a lot about self-care. A lot. And in order doing all these things and filling your cup in order so you to be able to present the best version of yourself. That also ties into mindset, and we just went over relationship. But being proactive is, I understand why it's the first habit.
Like he described this habit as like the foundational habit. Like all of the other habits build on this habit. If you're not able to be proactive, like you can't do anything else. Like there's not much you could achieve without being proactive, right? Like even getting a job, like you have to get your resume together, right? Like you have to get skills, you have to apply. Like those are things that's proactive, right? So like you can't achieve much without being proactive. So
language. He talks a lot about language. So there's reactive language, which is putting the blame on other people or blaming your circumstances. We both grew up pretty poor.
Yeah.
And we know a lot of people that stayed pretty poor.
Yeah.
Mostly mindset wise.
100%.
So I don't want to hear from anybody. I wasn't handed anything.
Not at all, bro. And not many people who are successful long term were handed things. I noticed that, like people who have that poor mindset, they tend to just blame the people who have, right? Or they'll just be like, oh, he got lucky. But you don't see like the late nights.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like the days where you're just up till 3 o'clock in the morning, like doing whatever you're doing. Like even, like I said, I'm back in photography. And one of the things that I used to do all the time was just be up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But that's just like I was working a full-time job. Yeah. So, I'll come home, get a workout in, take care of the kid or whatever. And then it's like, now this is the only time I could sit here and do this thing. And like I could either go to sleep or I could do this thing.
Yep.
So yeah, like there's a lot of sacrifice, but again, like it's still being proactive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Yeah. And with the purpose in mind.
Yeah.
And I think that's also really important. And that's actually in the next habit, but like having
the purpose.
Having the purpose. Like, so what are we being proactive towards? Because you could just be proactive towards like a bunch of, I've done that too, right? Like we're, up late learning shit that doesn't really matter. Isn't going to pan out to anything, right? So having direction with your proactivity is important. Want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay,
100%.
Cool.
Like,
so we got the circle of influence versus the circle of concern. This comes from Stoicism. This comes from the Bible. This is as old as time. And this is something that I've seen pop up in every single self-help book. Yeah. It's so crazy how this controls the world.
Hey, bro, it really is crazy.
So the circle of concern is the weather.
Mm-hmm. The things you can't control.
Yeah, the circle of influence is the umbrella.
Yes. I love that you keep going back to that. Like
it's so simple,
bro. And the coolest part is like I don't know when this happened or like when I got caught in the rain, but now like if you open my car door, there's an umbrella.
Really?
Yes. And I think at some point, like I put the umbrella in the car, but I had it in the trunk, and I was like, you still get caught in the rain because it's in the trunk. Now it's like, no, it's right here, right next to me. And again, like there's, I'm prepared.
Yeah. And I so this is because I battle my mind a lot. Like my mind will take over and get real crazy. So me sitting down with a blank piece of paper and just, all right, what are you so stressed about? Like, what is the real situation at hand? And like, let's write this out.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I'll do a line down the middle of the page, and then I'll write the things in my life that I can control right now and the things that I can't control right now. And 10 out of 10 times, it calms me down.
Okay.
And it puts me in the right place.
I like that.
Yeah. It's like, well, so, because sometimes you don't know, like, that when you just feel anxious, like you have a lot of different things going on and you're just spinning plates, but you just feel anxious.
Yeah.
That's when I know I need to have a sit down.
Okay.
And 9 times out of 10, there's just where you're focusing on things that
on the wrong thing.
Yeah, on things that you can't control.
Yeah, or things that's not benefiting you.
Yep.
Now, before I don't know what point you were gonna make next, but like as far as like being proactive, there's a lot of, or the author spoke about liberty and freedom.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll just give you guys basically like how he described it. Liberty is the condition of the environment, and freedom is the condition of the person. So the more you control your freedom, eventually you will influence the liberty of your life.
Ooh. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like you start to control your environment, right? With your mind.
Yeah.
Just like Like I drove a Lamborghini today.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe that. Like the Matrix, bro. Like I believe it. The farther I get in this life, the more I believe it.
It's insane. Like Monday, bro. Like we just spoke about it. Like Monday, I text you the video. I had no reason to text you the video.
Yeah.
I was just like, I watched the video, and I watched the video every single day, multiple times since I first saw the video. Like when I sent it to you, it was probably like my third day watching it.
That's awesome.
I'm like, bro, I'm watching. I'm like, yo, this is the whip. You feel me? Yeah. So yeah, the more you control your freedom, eventually you'll influence your life.
Yeah, and the Viktor Frankl.
I know the name.
Concentration camp.
Yes, that's yeah.
So he talks about that, you know, and so I don't want to butcher the story, but you know, a prevalent psychologist or scientist.
I actually was just having a conversation or listening about him. So essentially, he was Jewish. Well, he's Jewish, and he was in the concentration camps, and he credits like him being able to survive the concentration camp. Like basically, was like he imagined himself teaching his students like what it took to survive the concentration camp. So like while he was going through the experience, he was like, I can't wait to get out of here and teach like my students about this. And that like was enough for him to basically survive. And there's also another story that Victor talked about where he was speaking to a friend that was like contemplating suicide. And he asked him like, you know, why haven't you done it? And the friend was like, because if I do it, then my wife will be devastated. So it's like just having a purpose to live like is enough to keep somebody going.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Sorry.
No, there's a lot of power there, dude.
Yeah.
There is a lot of, and as morose as that is, right? Like that's like as fundamental as possible, right? Like the willing to live on the person you love. That's
dope. That's deep, right? Like I mean, again, we're both kids. I mean, we both have kids, so it's like,
yeah,
like bro,
there is no other option.
Yeah, like I have purpose. Like this is, and it's not like I'm only living for my kid, but like I'm living to have, like I want to have a better life because I have somebody to like be an example for.
It did. So fatherhood did change why I want to be successful.
Okay.
It did.
Yeah, I got you.
Like,
but go ahead and tell people.
Being the role model is really important to me. Providing that role model for my kid is really important to me. Yeah.
But before that, why did you want to be successful?
It was probably superficial and then there was parts of me that didn't care if I was successful or not. Like I was successful in my own regard. Like I get to work out for a living. That's success, right? And it's changed. My views on that has changed dramatically. Where I want to create something, you know, I want to create something that lasts. And, I want to impact a lot of lives, and but it changed. It changed. The person that I had having a kid gave me a purpose to become someone better.
Okay. Nice. So like, I know we're kind of short on time, but you said like there was times where you didn't care if you were successful, but then you also went right back into saying like I was successful in my own rights, right? So it sounds like there is times where like you use the I'm successful in my own rights as an excuse to not take action.
100%.
Okay.
100%. Yeah. Before I met my wife, bartend on the weekends, make enough money to keep, and just try to keep the doors of a gym open. But like I was that, like if that worked out, I was happy with that. And it was an excuse for ssure.
Okay. See, I'll be catching your excuses, by the way.
Yeah.
Wait.
Somebody needs to. Shit.
All right, go ahead. What do you have
No,
next?
go ahead.
All right, so I wanted to talk about stimulus and response.
Yes.
Right. So again, like the way the stimulus is like somebody stepping on your shoes, right? Your response is punching them in the face.
Yep.
That's like, but in the book, I don't know if it's in the book or just in the actual lecture that I watched, there's a space in between the stimulus and the response. And in that space is the freedom to choose. And like, that's where our freedom lives. Like where you choose how you react is where your freedom is.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to
You know what's so interesting about that is I think that's where happiness lies.
Yeah.
I feel my absolute best when I am in control of my response. I like when I said no to things that did not serve me, and I in that space.
Yeah.
It's like euphoric, like no one's business. Like it's crazy. And I think that's why you keep going back to 75 hard. And I think that's why I felt my best when I did stop drinking for an extended period of time. Not because I needed to stop drinking, but because I was abstaining from something. Like I had more control of my life. I love that.
I mean, again, bro, there's so much stuff. I forgot. I fasted not that long ago, like the 3-day fast. I don't know. Remember if it was you that like, I was like, yo, after the 3-day fast, like I had like this level of mental clarity.
Yeah.
Right. And again, it's like you have to go so long without eating. Like you have to resist. And like I got a lot of clarity from it. But then I also like realized there's a lot of like religions that it's like part of the religion.
Yep.
Right. It's like it's in the Bible. There's fasting everywhere. And it's like fasting may be like the secret to a lot of things.
A lot of people believe that.
I'm starting to believe, because like even now I started intermittent fasting. Like it's almost 4:00. I haven't eaten all day today.
I think there's consumption, uncontrolled consumption will destroy you.
Okay.
And that's what happens when it goes unchecked for too long. And periods of fasting keeps it in check.
Yeah.
Fast from everything. Nothing should be uncontrolled consumption.
Yeah.
Social media, food, shopping, nothing should be just, I'm just going to.
Doing it just because.
Yeah. I believe that.
Yeah. And even with the fast, like we got to work out. I worked out with you twice today, like this week. And like both times I were fasted.
Look how powerful we are. You didn't eat.
Yeah. And like didn't feel lightheaded or anything. Yeah. All right. So go ahead. Next point.
I think that's all.
Yeah. I mean, just for, our short version of this, like just this habit, right? Yeah. Like this is like a bite-sized version of the habit. Yeah. And like all of the things that like you can like build on from here is just like massive.
Yeah. We can go over, so we'll finish off with just ways of being proactive.
Okay.
So creating habits or trying to create habits. Like again, it's the 7 habits of highly effective people, but building habits takes practice.
Yeah.
So we downloaded or I downloaded it today.
the app that I told you about?
No, a different one.
Oh yeah. The
I'm on an app
Streak
vendor.
one or something.
Yeah, it's a Streak app.
Yeah.
Days Since.
Okay.
And it's a free app, and it's a days since you ate junk food, or one of mine is pray. So it's like every day that I go praying is a streak.
Yeah.
And streaks are powerful. Like you don't want to break a streak.
Yeah.
So, and you can do like 5 of them or whatever. I wouldn't recommend doing more than 3 if you really want to stick to it. But having streaks and letting them go for as long as possible will turn them into habits. And then habits are hard to break. When they're like instilled, ingrained, they're hard to break.
Yeah. One of the things I got, Jerry Seinfeld actually did like did this, and he spoke about this somewhere, where he wrote one joke every single day.
Yeah.
Like every day he would just write a joke, and he had like this big calendar. And I actually did this. Like I bought a big calendar on Amazon, and like every day you do the habit, you make an X.
Yeah.
And like you just keep making the X's, and you start to make like a chain.
Yeah. So if there's one addiction you should have, is addicted to writing X's.
Yeah.
No, seriously, because like that does get addicting. It's a dopamine response that happens every time you check the box.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It is so powerful. It is so powerful that Peloton made billions of dollars because of the streaks that people were going on
wow.
during the pandemic. So people were stuck at home and they were able to check the box.
Yeah.
100 classes, 200 classes, 300 classes.
And you just want to go on that streak.
Yeah,
there's another app that does that too. It's the Duolingo does the same thing.
Yeah. There's so much power.
Yeah.
There. So yeah, could try to create some streaks. Start small, tiny. Like hurt my back. I'm trying to rehab my back.
Yeah.
It's 10 minutes. I need to spend 10 minutes every day with self-care, rolling out, stretching, doing my fucking cat cows or whatever. And just 10 minutes. Set the clock, 10 minutes. I can check that box.
Cool. And I mean, another thing that I would suggest is like planning your weeks. Well, actually, I think this is part of the book also, but you can start now, like planning your weeks ahead of time, right? I use Notion. Yeah, because there's Motion and Notion. But yeah, I use Notion, which is like, it's a free web-based app. And like there's different templates for it, but I'm using the 12-week year template. And like I basically have a plan for the next 12 weeks.
I love that.
And every week kind of breaks down to certain things. And like so.
That's actually, because I'm gonna run and go coach, but having a problem-solving mentality is important.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you're going to break down these 12 weeks, and there's the goal of the 12 weeks, and it might be problems that you're trying to solve.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't think a lot of people do that. And I don't think I've even done that for all these little things in my life, right? But there shouldn't be anything in your life that's just kind of lingering around or under the I don't want to touch that just yet.
But that shit builds up. Bro.
Yeah. So creating a plan, and it doesn't have to be a right now plan, but it's in 2 years I'm going to be able to figure this shit out, and this is the roadmap to figure it out. And it's pretty vague right now, but at least it's on the it's out there. We're gonna do this for sure.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So that is it for now, guys. Part 1 of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I don't think the episodes are going to be every week, because we do have some guests that, we're bringing into the podcast. So, just be on the lookout for this series. And, we'll have other stuff in between it when we, whenever it happens. But thanks for listening.
Yeah. And if you want to chat about it, we'll chat about the book. If you guys are reading the book too, or.
Oh yeah, please. If you're reading this book, please just comment section, text messages, whatever. Let's see, what you're getting out of it. If there's anything you feel like we should touch on. And if you're not reading this book, like this literally could be a book club for you.
I thought about it.
Right? Like this could be a book club. Like you could go get the book and do, chapter 1 and follow along with us. And I think you'll enjoy it very much. So we'll catch you next week or next time. Peace.